Actually, kindergarten, I think, is the first time I saw an airplane.
As far back as he can recall.
And I always wanted to fly.
Self-proclaimed Army brat Paul Galanti dreamed of soaring through the skies.
I'm not sure I count to 17, but I knew what a B-17 was.
Many teens yearned to sit behind the wheel. Paul envisioned climbing into a cockpit.
I was happy every time I was in an airplane.
While the 19-year-old earned his wings at the Naval Academy, war was escalating half a world away.
I didn't know where Vietnam was. I'd heard of it.
The newly minted fighter pilot flies dozens of successful combat flights into North Vietnam.
You salute the guy and put your head back in the headrest. Goes like this, 2.5 sideways G's.
On June 17th, 1966, the Richmonders' luck runs dry.
I heard this horrible explosion and this violent jolt.
It is the pilot's 97th mission in just 6 months.
It really felt awful. But I looked out and I saw the airplane going away from me, still spinning.
He survives getting blown out of the sky.
The most sinking feeling I ever had in my life.
What Paul doesn't know is that a dreadful odyssey awaits.
And it was, got captured almost immediately.
After a 2-week forced march, Paul joins other American POWs at the infamous Hanoi Hilton, where hospitality does not exist. Sadistic guards try breaking his spirit, and much more.
And then they pulled the arms behind us till the elbows touched. And the shoulder, both of my shoulders popped out of joint when they did that. And it was unbelievable, the pain.
Torture and stretches of solitary confinement are the norm week after week, month after month, year after year.
And the windows were boarded up, and there's a light bulb that burned 24/7.
Forward, 60 seconds.
Paul and his fellow prisoners are so isolated, news of NASA's one small step remains one big secret.
We're probably the last Americans last living Americans to know about the moonshot.
I'm going to step off the limb.
Because they didn't tell us. And we finally found out about a year after Neil Armstrong landed on the moon.
During a propaganda photo shoot orchestrated by his captors, Paul represents the plight of American pilots. The prisoner delivers a silent, defiant message.
I really didn't know it was on Life magazine. But the first edition came out with the fingers down. And the second ones after that, they airbrushed it out.
On February 12, 1973, after the signing of a peace agreement, Paul and nearly 700 other POWs finally walk out of their nightmare.
Show no emotion. If we get released from here, show no emotion. And we didn't.
After 2,432 days in captivity, Paul is heading home.
It took us on a bus, daylight, broad daylight, no blindfolds.
The 83-year-old's mouth still waters, thinking about eating his first meal as a free man.
It was a 16-ounce steak, medium rare, and half a gallon of vanilla ice cream.
A half-century later, Paul Galanti harbors no ill will toward his former enemies.
But I never, ever felt like I was beaten down.
Those dark days softened by this veteran's sunny disposition.
It was an amazing experience because I felt like these guys were my brothers. I knew every single guy in that camp.
Paul's sweetest homecoming memory, stepping off the plane in Norfolk and into his late wife Phyllis's arms. The perfect time to recite an original poem, 7 years in the making.
So I read this thing. It goes, "Lonely the days and nights, my love, since we have been apart. It seems almost forever since I held you to my heart. The moments are as restless as the waves that move the sea, but every second means a step nearer, my love, to thee."